Dallas Cowboys OTA update. Key takeaways from first open media session. The Dallas Cowboys kicked off their first voluntary Phase 3 organized team activities, OTAs, on Monday, marking the initial open session for media coverage. Below are the major highlights, including injury updates, player performances, and coaching insights. Injury updates. Several players are on the mend, with varying degrees of participation. Demarion Overshawn, working with the rehab group, showing progress but likely sidelined until November. Savone Revel, limited participation, engaging in individual drills but stepping aside during team activities, indicating he's further along than Overshawn. Donovan Wilson, a new addition to the rehab group, possibly due to a cleanup procedure for shoulder or knee issues from late last season. No major concerns for training camp yet. Sam Williams, as expected, rehabbing a torn ACL with the rehab group. Princeton Fant, left OTA practice early, a situation to monitor despite its limited immediate impact. Dak Prescott's progress. Dak Prescott appeared nearly fully active during OTAs, though not yet cleared for contact, a non-issue given the lack of contact drills for over 2 months. According to Nick Harris of the Star-Telegram, Prescott showcased mobility and took more reps than anticipated, moving and throwing effectively. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer echoed this, noting Prescott looked strong. Despite some misinformation, his recovery timeline was never 8 months, and the team is taking a cautious approach with training camp still 2 months away. Prescott handled most first-team reps, though Schottenheimer cautioned against overanalyzing this in May. Fan question: how many regular season games will Dak Prescott play this year? Share your predictions in the comments. Exclude playoff games to avoid confusion. Micah Parsons' OTA participation. Micah Parsons was absent from the on-field practice portion of OTAs, consistent with his in-and-out involvement during Phases 1 and 2, including workouts. Schottenheimer clarified that Parsons has been more engaged this year compared to past off-seasons, despite training separately with players like Myles Garrett, as he often does this time of year. Schottenheimer emphasized Parsons' leadership, noting his presence during team-building sessions and a recent lunch meeting on Monday. Parsons' participation remains voluntary, and his absence during practice isn't unexpected, given his training habits and ongoing contract discussions. The Cowboys front office has stressed leadership from Parsons, and Schottenheimer has praised his efforts in this area. At mandatory minicamp, Parsons is expected to attend but may limit on-field work, potentially mirroring a modified hold-in approach to avoid fines while focusing on meetings and leadership. Fan poll: will Micah Parsons be a full participant at mandatory minicamp? Comment yes or no and explain why. Micah contract pool: enter the ongoing contest to predict when Parsons signs or gets traded, likely signing. Details at chatsports.com/Micah, $5 entry via Venmo, with the closest guess splitting the pot. George Pickens integration. New wide receiver George Pickens is making a solid early impression, temporarily wearing number 13 for practice purposes, not finalized. Schottenheimer described Pickens as incredible to work with, praising his maturity, note-taking, and focus in meetings. While slightly behind due to his recent arrival, Pickens is catching up quickly, earning positive remarks from teammate C.D. Lamb, who called them both ones with no hierarchy. The pair's chemistry is promising, bolstered by Lamb's growing leadership role. Schottenheimer noted no red flags, indicating Pickens is on track for this phase. Fans can pre-order Pickens' jersey at chatsports.com/Pickens, which will ship once his official number is confirmed. Confirmed. Brian Schottenheimer's leadership. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer continues to strike a positive tone, emphasizing culture and competition. His press conferences are engaging, and his focus on team-wide leadership, rather than relying solely on players like Prescott, resonates well. Schottenheimer's anecdotes, like poking fun at players during ping-pong-pong or free-throw contests, highlight his rapport with the team. He's pushing for one of the NFL's best practices, fostering camaraderie through competitive activities. While his staff hires and approach are encouraging, it still may. Success will depend on game results. Fan question: on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you trust Brian Schottenheimer as head coach? Share in the comments. Looking ahead. More OTA insights will follow as the week progresses. Subscribe for updates, and check the comments and description for links to polls and jersey pre-orders. The Cowboys are in the honeymoon phase, with positive early signs, but the real test awaits in September.